Have you ever seen a woman who lives alone, yet her peace feels unshakable? She doesn't chase attention, she doesn't seek validation. She avoids every haram relationship, not because she's cold or lonely, but because her heart is already full of iman and trust in Allah. In a world where temptation surrounds us, she chooses solitude over sin, discipline over desire, and Allah honors her with a peace this world can never give. Because when a woman guards her purity, Allah guards her heart. When she gives up what is haram for His sake, Allah replaces it with something far greater. Barakah, strength and honor. This is not weakness, this is power. The power of a believer who knows her worth comes only from Allah. Stay till the end, because what happens to such a woman will truly amaze you and maybe inspire you to become one of them. In Islam, a woman's strength is not measured by wealth, status or social connections alone, but by her character, faith and independence. Living alone while avoiding haram relationships is one of the most powerful ways a woman can develop resilience, self-discipline and spiritual fortitude. This path is not easy in a world full of distractions and temptations, but it carries immense rewards both in this life and in the hereafter. Independence allows a woman to focus on herself and her personal growth. She is not bound by societal pressures to conform to unhealthy relationships or compromise her values. This freedom enables her to make decisions guided by Islamic principles rather than emotional impulses or peer influence. When a woman chooses to live alone responsibly, she learns to rely on her own judgment, manage her life effectively, and build confidence in her abilities. This independence nurtures a sense of self-respect and dignity that no external validation can replace. Faith is the cornerstone of this strength. By avoiding haram relationships, a woman protects her heart and mind from emotional harm and spiritual distraction. Islam emphasizes the importance of guarding one's soul and maintaining purity, as the Prophet ﷺ said, "The best of you is the one who is best in character." A woman who lives alone with the guidance of her faith demonstrates that her strength comes from Allah, not from relying on others. Her relationship with Allah becomes central, allowing her to navigate life's challenges with patience, trust, and inner peace. This combination of independence and faith also teaches discipline and self-control. In a world where instant gratification is common, choosing purity requires conscious effort, reflection, and restraint. She learns to prioritize her long-term spiritual and emotional well-being over fleeting desires or societal expectations. This discipline strengthens her resilience, enabling her to face difficulties, loneliness, or societal judgment with courage and grace. Moreover, living alone while adhering to Islamic principles does not mean isolation. It is a proactive form of empowerment. She can engage in knowledge, develop skills, and cultivate meaningful relationships rooted in respect and shared values. Her independence provides the space to grow intellectually, spiritually, and emotionally, free from harmful influences. Through this journey, she becomes a role model, demonstrating that a woman can be strong, self-reliant, and spiritually grounded simultaneously. Finally, this strength is not only beneficial in the worldly sense, but also carries immense spiritual reward. A woman who consciously avoids haram and lives independently for the sake of Allah earns His pleasure, barakah, blessings in her life, and reward in the hereafter. Her independence and faith become a source of empowerment, not only for herself, but also for those who witness her example. In conclusion, strength through independence and faith is a profound manifestation of a woman's character in Islam. By living alone responsibly and avoiding haram relationships, she nurtures resilience, discipline, self-respect, and spiritual growth. This path empowers her to face life's challenges confidently, maintain closeness to Allah, and inspire others by her example. True strength lies in the combination of independence guided by faith, and it is this balance that transforms a woman into a beacon of righteousness and empowerment. In Islam, the most profound form of empowerment comes from a strong connection with Allah. For a woman living alone and avoiding haram relationships, this connection becomes the foundation of her spiritual growth, inner peace, and true strength. When a woman consciously chooses purity and independence, she creates the perfect environment to focus on her relationship with Allah, allowing her soul to flourish and her heart to remain steadfast. One of the key aspects of spiritual growth is prioritizing worship and dhikr, remembrance of Allah. Without the distractions of unhealthy relationships or societal pressures, a woman can dedicate her time and energy to prayers, Quran recitation, and supplications. These acts of worship nurture her heart, cleanse her mind from worldly clutter, and strengthen her faith. The Prophet ﷺ said, "The one who draws near to Allah is not harmed by anything else." By living independently, a woman creates a space where her focus is on drawing closer to Allah, which in turn increases her spiritual resilience and tranquility. Avoiding haram relationships also allows a woman to protect her heart and mind from emotional turbulence. Islam teaches that the heart is the center of faith, and maintaining its purity is essential for spiritual development. Relationships that contradict Islamic guidance can lead to anxiety, stress, and distraction from Allah. By choosing to live alone and uphold Islamic boundaries, a woman safeguards her emotional and spiritual well-being, making her heart a receptive place for divine guidance, inspiration, and dua. Another aspect of spiritual growth is the development of trust and reliance on Allah, tawakkul. When a woman is alone, she learns to depend on Allah for support, guidance, and fulfillment of her needs. She understands that true companionship, comfort, and protection come from her Creator. This reliance strengthens her patience, humility, and gratitude, teaching her that worldly relationships are secondary to the eternal connection with Allah. Her independence becomes a form of worship when it is accompanied by trust in Allah's plan and timing. Spiritual growth also manifests in refined character and purpose-driven living. A woman who focuses on her connection with Allah develops qualities like sincerity, self-discipline, and emotional maturity. She becomes mindful of her actions, chooses what pleases Allah, and avoids what may lead to spiritual harm. This conscious living is a form of empowerment, as it enables her to navigate life with clarity, integrity, and purpose. Moreover, a strong connection with Allah provides inner contentment and peace, which no worldly relationship can replace. The heart that is anchored in faith does not depend on validation from others. It finds serenity in the remembrance of Allah and in fulfilling His commands. This spiritual fulfillment radiates outward, influencing her decisions, interactions, and the way she impacts those around her. In conclusion, spiritual growth and connection with Allah are central to the empowerment of a woman living alone and avoiding haram relationships. Through worship, remembrance, reliance on Allah, and protection of her heart, she nurtures a profound sense of peace, purpose, and resilience. Her independence, guided by faith, allows her soul to thrive, making her not only spiritually strong but also a beacon of inspiration for others seeking closeness to Allah. In Islam, a woman's choice to avoid haram relationships is not just about following rules, it is a means of attaining divine protection and barakah blessings in her life. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has placed limits and boundaries for our benefit, safeguarding both our spiritual and worldly well-being. By consciously staying away from relationships that contradict Islamic teachings, a woman preserves her heart, her mind, and her soul, while inviting the mercy, blessings, and guidance of Allah into every aspect of her life. One of the most immediate benefits of avoiding haram is spiritual protection. Relationships that are forbidden in Islam often carry emotional, moral, and spiritual consequences. They can lead to feelings of guilt, anxiety, and distraction from worship. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Guard yourselves against sin, for the heart that is free from sin is the heart that finds closeness to Allah." By choosing to stay clear of haram interactions, a woman shields her heart from negative influences and ensures her spiritual compass remains aligned with divine guidance. This protection allows her to nurture sincerity, humility, and devotion, which are essential for spiritual growth. Avoiding haram also brings barakah into daily life. Barakah refers to Allah's blessings that increase goodness, ease, and sustenance in unexpected ways. When a woman lives within the limits of Sharia, she experiences peace, clarity, and stability in her relationships, her home, and her personal pursuits. Her time, energy, and focus are no longer consumed by complications or forbidden attachments, allowing her to invest in productive, meaningful, and spiritually rewarding activities. Allah promises that living a life of obedience and purity attracts His mercy, making every effort she makes more fruitful and every decision easier to bear. Furthermore, avoiding haram relationships helps a woman maintain a pure heart and mind. The heart is the seat of faith, and Islam emphasizes its protection above all. By steering clear of inappropriate emotional attachments, she prevents inner turmoil, jealousy, and resentment that often accompany forbidden connections. A pure heart is more receptive to dua supplication, more patient in trials, and more compassionate in dealings with others. This spiritual cleanliness strengthens her connection with Allah and allows her to experience true contentment and tranquility. Another dimension of protection is safeguarding social and personal boundaries. By avoiding haram, a woman preserves her dignity, self-respect, and reputation, which are highly valued in Islam. This not only protects her from worldly harm but also ensures that her life is aligned with divine guidance, creating an environment where Allah's blessings can flow freely. Ultimately, avoiding haram transforms challenges into opportunities for growth. It teaches patience, self-discipline, and reliance on Allah, while opening the door to barakah in health, wealth, relationships, and spiritual fulfillment. A woman who lives by these principles demonstrates that her strength and blessings are directly tied to her obedience to Allah and her conscious effort to maintain purity. In conclusion, avoiding haram leads to protection and barakah by safeguarding the heart, inviting Allah's blessings, and fostering spiritual, emotional, and worldly well-being.
A woman who embraces this path not only protects herself from harm, but also experiences peace, prosperity, and divine favor, proving that the choices she makes in alignment with Islamic guidance are the keys to a fulfilled and blessed life. One of the most powerful ways a woman can impact her surroundings is through the way she lives her life according to Islamic principles. Choosing to live alone, avoiding haram relationships, and focusing on her faith is not just a personal journey, it becomes a silent but profound form of dawah, inviting to good. Her actions, choices, and character speak louder than words, inspiring others to reflect on their own lives and the importance of aligning their actions with the teachings of Islam. A woman who prioritizes her independence and purity demonstrates strength, dignity, and self-respect. In a world where societal pressures often encourage compromising values for the sake of relationships, her unwavering commitment serves as a living example of courage and discipline. People observe her life and see that it is possible to live a fulfilling, content, and meaningful life without compromising faith. Her example challenges norms and motivates others, both men and women, to consider the spiritual and moral dimensions of their own relationships and choices. Her lifestyle also highlights the practical benefits of living according to Islamic guidance. By focusing on personal growth, education, worship, and ethical living, she showcases how avoiding haram relationships brings peace, clarity, and productivity. Others witness the blessings, Barakah, she experiences in her time, work, and personal well-being, which naturally generates curiosity and admiration. This inspires family members, friends, and the wider community to reflect on the role of faith in their daily lives and encourages them to adopt practices that bring them closer to Allah. Inspiring others through example also works on a spiritual level. The Prophet ﷺ emphasized that the best form of dawah is through good character and righteous living. A woman who upholds Islamic values becomes a beacon of guidance for those around her. Her patience, integrity, and devotion resonate with others and motivate them to pursue a similar path. Even without explicitly teaching or preaching, her life becomes a subtle yet powerful reminder of the importance of faith, self-discipline, and reliance on Allah. Moreover, this influence is not limited to adults. Younger generations, especially daughters and young women, observe and internalize her example. They learn that their worth is not determined by societal approval, relationships, or superficial connections, but by their character, choices, and closeness to Allah. By modeling a life of independence and righteousness, she plants seeds of awareness and inspiration that can transform future generations. Lastly, inspiring others through example strengthens the woman herself. Knowing that her actions can positively influence others encourages her to remain steadfast in her principles, deepen her faith, and continue striving for excellence in character and worship. Her life becomes a cycle of continuous improvement, spiritual growth, and positive impact, a true manifestation of Islamic empowerment. In conclusion, inspiring others through example is one of the greatest outcomes of a woman living alone and avoiding haram relationships. By embodying strength, faith, and righteousness, she becomes a role model, silently guiding others toward better choices, stronger faith, and spiritual awareness. Her life demonstrates that true empowerment lies in obedience to Allah, integrity, and a steadfast commitment to moral and spiritual principles, leaving a lasting impact on both her community and the generations to come.